stand up for a second. Go on. Now imagine looking up at someone. Not a little bit up, way up. Imagine a person so tall that your eyes barely reach their belt. A person whose single footprint could swallow your entire torso. A hand that could wrap around your whole head like it was picking up a tennis ball. Terrifying, right? Well, here's the thing. Almost every culture on Earth, separated by oceans, mountains, and thousands of years, told the exact same story. Giants. Enormous humans who walked the earth before us. The Bible has them, Greek myths have them, Norse legends have them, Native American tribes have them, ancient China, ancient India, tiny islands in the Pacific that had no contact with anyone else. All of them, the same story. So the question isn't, why do people believe in giants? The question is way creepier than that. Why did everyone, everywhere, all on their own, come up with the same exact thing? Did they know something we forgot? Or did they all fall for the same beautiful lie? Let's find out. Real quick, because we're about to go deep, and I mean deep. Do me one tiny favor. Smash that like button. Seriously, it takes half a second, and it tells YouTube to show this to more curious people like you. And if you enjoy stuff that makes you go, wait, what? Hit subscribe. That's it. That's the whole ask. Okay, let's get into it. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, giants, come on, that's fairy tale stuff. Hold on, because the idea isn't as ridiculous as it sounds. Nature makes giants. It always has. We've dug up dragonflies with 2-foot wingspans, sloths the size of elephants, sharks so massive they made Jaws look like a goldfish. Life on this planet has gone big before. Really, really big. So the concept of a giant creature, totally normal, happens all the time. The real question is a much sharper one. Did giant humans, actual oversized people, ever walk around next to our ancestors? And if they didn't, then why is the story everywhere? Because that's the part that keeps me up at night. Not one culture, not two, all of them. Let's talk about how deep this goes. The ancient Greeks believed in a race of giants called the Titans. Beings so powerful, they ruled the world before the gods overthrew them. The Norse had frost giants, ice-cold titans older than the universe itself. In the Bible, there's a famous line about giants in the earth in those days. One word, Nephilim, has been argued over for literally thousands of years. And here's where it gets weird. Travel across an entire ocean to the Americas, where these people had never met a single European or Greek or Viking. And what do you find? Dozens of Native American tribes with their own giant legends. Red-haired giants, cannibal giants, giants who lived in the mountains before humans arrived. Go to the Pacific Islands, same thing. Go to ancient India, same thing. Australia, Africa, same story. Now, think about that for a second. These people had no phones, no boats crossing oceans, no way to copy each other's homework. And yet, they all wrote down the same answer. That is not a coincidence you can just wave away. Something caused this. So, what was it? Here's the answer that most historians land on. And honestly, it's brilliant once you see it. Imagine you're a farmer 4,000 years ago. No science, no museums, no idea what a dinosaur is. You're digging a well, and suddenly your shovel hits something huge, a bone. But not a normal bone. This thing is massive. A leg bone thicker than your arm. A skull the size of a boulder. A tooth bigger than your fist. What do you think? You don't think, ah yes, extinct megafauna from the Pleistocene. You've never heard those words. You look at that giant bone, and your brain does the only thing it can do. It says, a giant person used to live here. And you know what? That's not stupid. That's actually a really smart guess with the information you had. Here's the kicker. Ancient Greece was covered in the fossils of enormous prehistoric animals. Mammoths, mastodons, giant rhinos. And a mammoth skull? It has one big hole right in the middle where the trunk connected. To an ancient person who'd never seen an elephant, that looks exactly like a single giant eye socket. One eye in the middle of a giant skull. Sound familiar? Yeah. That might be where the legend of the Cyclops came from, a one-eyed giant, built entirely from a misunderstood elephant. Mind blown yet? Because we're just getting started. Okay, so ancient people had an excuse. They found weird bones and made a logical guess. Fair enough. But here's what's wild. People kept believing in giants long after we should have known better, and a whole lot of them straight up lied about it. Let me tell you about the most famous fake in American history. 1869, a little town in New York. Some workers digging a well pull up what looks like a 10-foot-tall petrified man, a stone giant. People lose their minds. Crowds show up. They pay money, actual money, just to look at it. It was called the Cardiff Giant, and it was completely 100% fake. A guy had carved it out of a block of stone, buried it, and waited a year to discover it. It fooled thousands of people. It got so popular that the famous showman P.T. Barnum tried to buy it. And when he couldn't, he made his own fake and put it on display too. So now you had two fake giants, and people were arguing over which fake giant was the real fake giant. You genuinely can't make this up. And it didn't stop there. For over 100 years, newspapers printed stories about giant skeletons being dug up all over the world. Photos, too. Grainy black and white pictures of archaeologists standing next to human skeletons the size of school buses. Every single one, fake, photoshopped, or in the old days, just faked in a darkroom. People wanted giants to be real so badly that they kept inventing them. But that raises the real question, doesn't it? Not, did people fake giants? Obviously they did. The question is, was there ever a real one? A grain of truth under all the lies? So let's actually do the science. How big can a human being physically get? There's a limit, a hard one, and it comes down to a really simple problem. Physics doesn't scale nicely. Here's the deal. If you make a person twice as tall, they don't just get twice as heavy, they get 8 times as heavy. But their bones only get about 4 times stronger. See the problem? The weight shoots up way faster than the strength. So a truly giant human wouldn't stride around crushing villages. They'd snap their own legs just trying to stand up. We actually know this because of the tallest man ever recorded. His name was Robert Wadlow. He lived in the 1930s, right here in America, and he was 8 feet 11 inches tall. That's real. That's documented. That's a genuine giant by any normal definition. But here's the sad part. His body couldn't keep up. His bones, his joints, his feet, they struggled to support all that height. He needed leg braces to walk, and he passed away tragically young. His own size worked against him. So that's the truth about giants. A person can get big, really big, but there's a ceiling. 12-foot, 15-foot humans? Physically impossible. The bones simply can't hold it. Nature won't allow it. Which means the mountain-sized giants of legend, they were never walking around. Not ever. The physics says no. But hold on. Don't leave yet. Because there's one more twist, and it's the best part. Here's the thing nobody expects. The giants weren't real humans. But the feeling of giants? That was 100% real. Let me explain. For most of human history, the average person was short. Poor diet, constant disease, hard labor from childhood. A grown man a few thousand years ago might have been 5'3", 5'5" on a good day. That was normal. So now imagine a rare, healthy, unusually tall person walks into that world. Someone 6'6", 7 feet. To us, that's a tall basketball player. But to a village of people who topped out at 5'4", that person was a monster, a living legend, something that shouldn't exist. Stories about them would spread, and every time the story got retold, the person got a little taller. 6'6" becomes 7 feet. 7 feet becomes 9. 9 becomes he blocked out the sun. That's just how legends work. They grow in the telling. So the giants of myth weren't lies. They were exaggerations of something real. A tall person, plus a weird fossil, plus 1,000 years of retelling. Mix it all together and boom, you get a race of ancient giants. The truth wasn't a giant human. The truth was human imagination doing what it does best, taking something real and making it legendary. So step back and look at the whole picture, because it's kind of beautiful. Every giant legend on Earth came from the same 3 ingredients: a misunderstood bone, a genuinely tall person, and a human brain that hates leaving a mystery unsolved. That's it. 3 simple things. And they were everywhere, in every corner of the planet, which is exactly why every culture invented giants independently. They all had bones, they all had tall people, and they all had the same curious, story-hungry brain that you and I have right now. The giants were never in the ground. They were in us, in the way we make sense of a world that's bigger and older and stranger than we can wrap our heads around. And honestly, that might be more incredible than if the giants had been real, because it means every single culture, alone in the dark, looked at the same clues and reached for the sky. So next time someone tells you giants once walked the earth, they're not exactly wrong. The giants were real. They just lived in our stories, not in our soil. And that's a footprint no shovel will ever dig up.